Today is leg day. Day 2 of legs this week of peak week. And I'm excited. I am pumped. I am ready to go. Ready to crush it. Boys are on the bus. I'm heading to the gym. And let's do this. Last week wasn't as great of where I want to do my deadlifts. Sorry, I was just thinking for a second there. My deadlifts weren't as good as I wanted them to be. And so getting them fixed this week is I might drop the weight just a little bit from what I did last week, or because my last set was rough. I got them done, but it was not pretty and not safe. So I got to do better. And so just because you do more weight, but if you're losing your form, it don't really matter. And so I got to work on that a little bit. And then maybe crank out a few extra reps on some of the sets and push myself to failure. But I'm excited about it. I'm gonna push myself hard. So I got deadlifts. I got those glute thrust things. I got single arm dumbbell rows. And I also have lying hamstring curls. And the lying hamstring curls, that's easy to push to failure. Yeah, it's hard, but it's easy to find when you do. You just can't get that all the way back up to your butt or close to it. The dumbbell rows, the hard thing with the dumbbell rows is, I'm a little outside of the rep range where I want to be with them. And the reason for that is the highest dumbbell at the Planet Fitness is 75 pounds. And I've been able, with the single arm dumbbell rows, I can do those, and just a little too high where I want to be on the rep range, but it is what it is, and just do what you got to do. But I'll still do those, and then the hip thrust, and I'm put more weight on today, and push that a little extra more too. And so my legs should be thoroughly cashed. All my legs, my glutes, that gets a lot of work in today's exercises. The hams should be nice and cashed today. So only 4 exercises, 5 sets each, and all of them, each set, this is peak week, pushing to failure. And so I should be thoroughly gassed today. So even though you're doing this, it's like a cardiovascular workout too, is because of the exertion that you're putting through, especially on those deadlifts. It's your whole body is systemically fatiguing. Your whole body gets into it versus bicep or tricep. It's just working that localized muscle for the most part. But when you're doing a deadlift, it cashes your whole body. And those of you guys that do that, it's been so long since I've done deadlifts. I think really since high school. I think. I might have done some these are sumo deadlifts I'm doing, and it's the first time I've ever done those. But anyway, work-wise, we are 1 week out from the day of our live in-person event. We got our itinerary. What we're going through is all dialed in. Everybody's got their flights, their hotels. Things are coming together. Pumped. I'll find out today if we're going to add one section to what we're doing. It's from our value add section, and another reason why people would want to work with us and refer us their clients. And so that's something that we're going to go over today, going through a presentation with somebody to see if we want to invest in their software, and if that's something that we'd want to offer to our agents to help build their businesses. And so it's always these things that we're growing, we're scaling, we're hiring 3. We have another person that started yesterday and another 3 that are starting on the operations side. I got a couple interviews this morning after the workout with a couple loan officers who are coming on board. And what we're also looking to do is a live event for loan officers, our recruiting event, where we bring them out to a location, similar to what we're doing with the realtors, but of how working for us is going to help the loan officers grow their businesses, how we will help them grow their business, support their businesses. And so we're in scale mode, growth mode. And part of this is my partners and I, we were talking yesterday, just messaging back and forth on our messaging platform, is, every time we grow, we run into new issues, new challenges. And one of the partners said, what's strange is I love these growth pains. And we all agree. We all love these growth pains, is because that means, one, is that you're growing, right? And two is you put things in place you could push beyond. Similar to how you working out, you push yourself and you got pain from working out, muscle soreness, but that muscle soreness helps you grow more. And so you want to embrace that soreness, embrace that pain, and not try to avoid it. People will go work out and get sore, like, oh, I'm not going back for how long? And then they avoid going back to the gym because their bodies got too sore. Well, they're not going to see the growth. Other people, they'll do things, they will, I'm talking about like building muscle and such, and they'll get sore and then they'll go do an ice bath right away because they think they want to get rid of that soreness. Well, that actually has been proven. Jumping in an ice bath right after a workout, it actually prevents muscle growth. Your muscles are not going to grow. It's through that soreness and pain where your muscles grow. And getting acclimated to that and actually embracing it. I was watching a little short today with Dorian Yates, and former Mr. Olympia, one of the first, they call mass monsters, huge. He'd work out legs once a week, and he'd be sore for 4 or 5 days, where he'd have a hard time just sitting down, going to the bathroom. And he said he loved it. In fact, that he'd get mad if he didn't have that, and the reason why is because it was through the pain and the soreness that his muscles were growing. And for all of us, is that we need to embrace the adversity, the difficult, the hard parts, the things, not working quite as well, or it's working fine until you put some added pressure on it, and then you have to fix it. And that's totally cool. And so that's what we're always working on and trying to improve and make things better and scale and scale and scale. And because massive things are happening, like we're seeing the growth already. We have more files than we've ever had going on, and it's still freaking January with interest rates still higher and limited inventory, and things are growing. It's not because we're special, it's because we're putting in the work, following principles that work no matter the market, and executing on them day in, day out, day in, day out. It can actually, to some, can be very boring, and sometimes it is boring, but just because something is boring doesn't mean we don't do it. What separates successful people from failures? It's a great line from a famous speech, is what separates successful people from failures is that successful people have gotten in the habit of doing what failures won't do. And then he goes on to talk about how it doesn't mean that the successful people even like doing those things. It's just that they need to get done, like prospecting. All right, I'm at the gym. I got to head out. See you later.